Hello there guys, I'm back right now after the break. I hope you really enjoyed when I read this reading Goosebumps Horrorland Monster Blood for Breakfast. I hope it seems like you really enjoyed that so far. I'm pretty sure you guys who listen to me and read to you. Now, I still got this book I can continue reading. Shall we finish? Shall I start reading Goosebumps Horrorland Monster Blood for Breakfast? Okay, so let's begin on part 2, page 22. Now, shall we continue? Excellent. I backed away. I'm not a violent dude. I could not let Bradley turn me into one. Hello. You got me in a mess of trouble today, I said. He shrugged his skinny shoulders. No biggie, he said. Huh? I couldn't help it. I reached for his neck again, but he rolled up out of my reach on the desk chair. You are Mr. Scotto's pet, Bradley said. He thinks you are the future astronaut or a rocket scientist or something. You know he won't do anything to you. But, I was so angry. I started to sputter. Do you know how important this week is to me? You are dead. You're dead meat. If you ruin it for me, I mean it. Bradley began snooping through the papers on my desk. He picked up a red notebook. Are these plans for your science project? He asked. What is it? Some kind of birdhouse? I grabbed the notebook out of his hand. Yeah, if you really want to know, I said. It's a birdhouse with a computer chip inside. In it. He giggled. A computer chip in the birdhouse. Weird. It's not weird, I said. The chip controls the lights and the air temperature inside. And it controls an automatic seed feeder. Bradley thought about it for the moment. Very cool, he said. You gotta be a great scientist. Maybe if I stick close enough I will too. Yucko, give me a break. He stood up and gave me a salute. Then he walked out of my room and clumped down the stairs. I let out a sigh of relief when I heard the front door close behind him. Good riddance, I muttered. He really gets my stomach churning. I knew I had to calm down. So I filled my big yellow watering can with water. I carefully watered my ivy plants. I have 2 of them in the clay pots next to my dresser. Their shiny leaves trickled down the wall, almost to the floor. I spent a lot of time watering them and cleaning their leaves and fixing their soil. Here's a secret. Sometimes I'd even talk to them, caring for my 2 ivy plants always calms me down. They started out as a science project. I wanted to see how they grew under different amounts of light. But now I just like to have them and take care of them. I water them carefully. Then I straightened some of the leaves. Turning back to my desk, I glimpsed my desk. What did Bradley leave on the screen? I studied the monitor. 2 bloodshot eyes stared back at me. And under them, in the green letters, the words Monster Blood. What is Monster Blood? One of Bradley's weird online games? I looked for an X in the upper right corner to get rid of it. No X. I hit the escape key, for I still stared out at me. The words monster blood iced down the screen like a thick clots of green slime. I hit the delete key again and again. I tried several other keys. I couldn't exit. No matter what I tried, the ugly bloodshot eyes stared out. And then I heard a scratchy whispered voice, low at first and then louder. Enjoy your monster blood. Enjoy your monster blood. Enjoy your monster blood. The cold, raspy voice gave me a creeps. I pushed the mute button on the front of the laptop. Science now. No. The whispered words still poured out. Enjoy your monster blood. Enjoy your monster blood. I pushed a mute button again. Enjoy your mute. Enjoy your monster blood. What's going on? Why can I get it to stop? My heart started to race. What did Bradley do to my computer? I slammed the laptop closed. Then I waited a minute or two for it to shut down. When I raised the lid, the eyes stared out at me. I stared out as if they could see me. The words monster blood. I stamped the screen, and the voice whispered again. Enjoy your monster blood. Enjoy your monster blood. No, I cried. I yanked the power and power cord from the back of the laptop. Then I flipped it over, fumbled with the laptop lid. Finally, pulled the laptop battery out. Breathing hard, I gasped at the screen. The laptop had no power of any kind, but still the red eyes glared out at me, and the raspy voice continued to whisper its message. Enjoy your monster blood. Enjoy your monster blood. Yeah! I couldn't help it. I let out the angry scream. I slammed the laptop shut again. Livy came running in from her bathroom. In her bathrobe, she had a towel wrapped around her hair was wet hair. A few shampoo bubbles clung to her forehead. Matt, what's wrong? She cried. Are you hurt? Bradley, I shouted. I shook my fists in the air. Her eyes wide-eyed. She knows I'm always the calm one in the family. That I am the one who's good in emergencies. There's only one thing in the world that makes me totally lose it. Bradley Wumser. Livy wrapped the towel tighter around her wet hair. What did he do? She asked. Played one of his dumb jokes, I said. He messed up my computer. I fixed it so it won't turn off. Won't turn off? Really? Did you try unplugging it and taking out the battery? Livy asked. She's pretty good with computers for an 8-year-old. Of course I tried that. I snapped. I pushed past her and headed to the door. Matt, where are you going? Livy called after me. To Bradley's, I said. Are you going to hurt him? Can I watch? I didn't answer. I jumped down the stairs and crossed the garden and walked through Bradley's kitchen door. The kitchen was bright and warm and smelled of cinnamon. Mum and Mom and Mrs. Rumser must have been baking. Bradley was standing at the sink, squeezing a yellow cupcake in his hand. He had vanilla frosting smeared around his mouth. "Sorry, I can't share," he said. "This is the last one." I stared at my tie-dye shirt. I saw a spot on the pocket. "Give me my shirt," I shouted. "Now, whoa!" His brown eyes went wide. He shoved a whole cupcake into his mouth and swallowed it without chewing. "What's your problem, Matt? I just borrowed it. Give it back," I demanded. I started across the room towards him. Okay. He started to pull off the shirt. He was so skinny, I could see all his ribs. "What did you do to my computer?" I asked. "Did you think that was funny? Hand me the shirt." "Excuse me, you messed with my computer," I said. "With your stupid jokes, you fixed it so I can't turn the thing off." He shook his head. "No way, you're crazy. And you're a liar," I shouted. "No way," he repeated. He shoved back his scraggly hair with both hands. "Are you sick or something? You are acting like a total nutcase." I stared at his skinny ribs. "You look like a thicket chicken." I said with a laugh, "Everyone calls you Worm, but they should call you Chicken Bones." His face turned bright red. "Oh, yeah?" he cried. I could see he was hurt. "You won't be making fun of me very long," he said. I laughed again. You'll see," Bradley said. "I found something awesome. It's going to make me bigger and stronger than even you, Matt. And that you will talk to me with some respect." That's tough talk for the pile of chicken bones," I said. I know, it wasn't very clever, but I was still too angry to think clearly. I ran around and stomped out the kitchen door. At least I got my dad's shirt back. That made me feel a lot better. Outside, I turned and looked through the window. Bradley was reaching for another cupcake. When I got home, Mum was sitting at the kitchen table. She had a tall glass of iced tea in her hand. She glanced at the clock over the sink when I walked in. "Matt, hi. Were you at swim practice?" "No," I said, winding the shirt in my hand. I had to get something back from Bradley. She mopped her forehead with a paper napkin. "I'm beat. I just got back from next door. Shirley and I baked 18 dozen chocolate and vanilla cupcakes today. Can you imagine?" I sniggered. Bradley was enjoying a few of them, I said. Mum groaned. Shirley and I told him he couldn't have any. They are for the big party on Saturday. "Face it, he's a creep, Mom," I said. Mum frowned at me. "Don't say that. He's your friend. You two have known each other your whole lives. And let's be honest, Bradley knows he can't compete with you in sports, or in science, or in popularity, so he does have these things just get to your attention." He's still a creep," I said. My Bible vibrated. I pulled it out of my jeans pocket. I had a text from Bradley. I worked on my science project till after midnight. The next morning, I woke up a little late. I pulled on my cool new black and white Raiders jersey and my jeans and hurried down to breakfast. Bradley was already at the kitchen table, gobbling down a toasted muffin. He stood up when I came in. "Check it out, dude," he said. He stretched out his arms. He was wearing a same Raiders jersey. "We're twins," he said, and slapped me on the back. "Great way to start the day, Matt. Want some eggs this morning?" Mum asked. "No time," I muttered. "I have to go to change my shirt." Before the class began, Mrs. Scotto called me to front of her room. My brain spun. What did I do wrong this time? I couldn't think of anything. Did he want to talk about his broken windshield again? My heart started to pound as I stepped up to his desk. "Morning," he said softly. He took my arm and led me out into the hall, away from other kids. Kids were still at their lockers or making their way to their classrooms. I stared at Mr. Scotto's face. I couldn't tell whether he was angry or not. He smelled like peppermint. I think it was his aftershave. He had a small cut on his chin from shaving. He leaned against a tile wall. How's it going?" he asked. I shrugged. "Okay, I guessed." He nodded. "I just wanted to say you are doing a great job with Bradley." I stared at him. "Bradley? What kind of job did I do with Bradley?" I hated his guts. "He told me you helped him think up an idea for his science project." He showed me his plans for his computerized birdhouse, and they are terrific. I exploded. "He's what? You have to work very hard to top him, Matt," Mr. Scotto said. "Bradley is definitely the front runner for a science prize. His birdhouse is brilliant." "Oh no, please no. This was too much. I couldn't talk. I couldn't think. I felt as if my head was about to pop like a balloon. I never felt so angry, so furious in my life. How could Bradley do that to me? Did he really think he could get away with it? Win the prize by stealing my idea? I squeezed my fist so tight. My fingernails dug into my palms. Mr. Scotto," I said through my gritted teeth. "I have to tell you something about that idea." He grinned at me. "That was such a nice thing to do for Bradley," he said. "I'm going to forget all about that little cheating thing. I'll let you make up the math tests." "Huh? Thanks," I muttered. What could I say? I need that maths grade. But I couldn't let Bradley get away with stealing my project, could I? Checking his watch, Mr. Scotto walked back into the classroom. Locker doors slammed. The hall was emptying out. I tried to calm down, but then I spotted Bradley in the corner, showing off his Raiders jersey to the couple of girls. and I couldn't stop myself, hurled myself at him. I grabbed him hard with both hands and slammed him against the locker. He stumbled back, his eyes wide with surprise. His glasses fell out and hit the floor. Behind me, a crowd had gathered. Why did they all come from? Fight, 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 they began to chant. Fight, 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 fight. Their voices ran in their cars. I saw red. I knew I was out of control, but I couldn't help it. I pressed Bradley against the locker with both hands and heard an angry woman's voice from down the hall. "What's going on here?" Mrs. Grant, the principal. The chanting stopped. The kids behind me didn't move. Mrs. Grant pushed through the crowd. She's a tiny woman, frail and old. She wears grey shirts and grey jumpers. She looks like a sparrow with a shirt, shiny white hair. "Stop it! Stop it!" she screamed. She grabbed my arm and pulled me off Bradley. "Matt, are you faking?" she asked, still holding my arm. "Oh no, I know. I realised, certainly, that I was in huge trouble. Strike free, the words flashed into my mind. Mrs. Grant slowly let go of my arm. She stared hard at me with her sharp black sparrow eyes. "Strike free and you are out," I thought. Bradley slid to the side, smoothing out the front of his Raiders shirt. His face was very pale. He bent to pick up his glasses. "You know I have no choice," Mrs. Grant said. "The school rules says no fighting of any kind. I have to suspend you, Matt. I want to explain." But what could I say? Mrs. Grant shook her head. "I don't understand," she said softly. "Why would you do this on the day before the swim companionship? You know how much our team is counting on you." "This isn't happening," I thought. "This can't be happening to a nice guy like me." Mrs. Grant pointed down the hall. "Go clean out your locker," she asked. "I'm really sorry, Matt, but the rules are rules. I call your mother right now to let her know you are suspended from school for the week." My legs felt weak. My mouth hung open in disbelief. I felt drops of sweat running down my forehead. Go, Mrs. Grant said, pointing again towards my locker. Suddenly, Bradley spoke up. "But we weren't fighting," he said. Mrs. Grant squinted at him. Bradley hung an arm around my shoulder. "Matt and I are best friends," he told her. "We were just goofing on each other." The principal frowned. I could tell she didn't believe Bradley. "It wasn't a fight at all," Bradley said. "We were acting out this scene we saw on TV last night." "Yeah, that's right. I jumped in. It was an awesome fight scene. These two guys totally wrecked each other. Bradley and I thought it was funny. We were just pretending to be those crazy guys." "That's the truth," Bradley lied. He still had his arm around my shoulder like we were best buddies. I wiped the sweat off my forehead with the back of my hand. My legs still felt shaky and weak. Was Mrs. Grant buying her our story? She had to, or I was doomed. She studied us both, rubbing her tiny pointed chin. The halls was silent. I never heard such a deep silence in my life. Okay, she said finally. Go back to class, you two. She turned to me. I don't think you had fight in school. Matt, you're too smart for that. Thanks, I stammered. She started back towards her office. No more violent TV shows, she called back. You guys should watch the National Geographic channel instead. Keep you out of trouble. Bradley had a huge grin on his face. His brown eyes were practically twirling with excitement. He slapped me a huge 5. Dude, I saved your life, he whispered. I wanted till Mrs. Grant turned the corner. Then I gave Bradley an angry shove. I said I should pound you, I said. Huh? He backed away. You wrecked my laptop with some dumb monster blood thing, I screamed. After everything else, you stole my science project. I'm warning you. After the swing meet, you did better hide, because I'll be coming for you. Don't get your boxes in a twist, Bradley replied. You can keep your dumb birdhouse. I have something new on the way. Something awesome. I had it sent overnight. My whole life is going to change. Big time. I laughed. You'll still be a worm. You'll see, Bradley said. I show it to you tonight. You won't be calling me names for long. Swim practice went on for 2 hours after school. We had a lot of practice races. Coach Widows had tips for us after each race. The championship meet was the next day, less than 24 hours away. This was our last chance to time up. My 3 events are for 100 meters freestyle, for 500 meter freestyle, and for 200 meter butterfly. No one can touch me in these races. I'm always blew everyone out of the water. But this afternoon, Kenny Waters and Jake Dean tied with me on both events. After the second tie in the butterfly, we were holding on to the pool wall, trying to catch our breath. Shaken off water, they both stared at me in surprise. Jake laughed. Did I get faster, or did you slow down? He asked. I spat a mouthful of water on him. I let your 2 tie, I joked. I just wanted to give you a thrill. Coach Widows leaned over the pool. He's tall and lean, with spiky black hair and the hairiest arms I've ever seen. We'll call him Wolf, but not to his face. Concentration, Matt, he said to me. He trapped his temple. It isn't as physical. It's a concentration. Know what I'm saying? He nodded and tapped my temple too. Riddles is a pretty smart guy. I guess he could tell my mind kept slipping to the other things. Like this morning, like coming so close to being kicked out of school. I got changed quickly and began walking home. The sun was already dropping behind the trees. The air grew cool and deep shadows shift over the pavement. I was half a street away from my house when two men stepped out from behind a car and blocked my path. "Hey," I cried. They were both dressed in black trousers and black hoodies. Their hoods were pulled down low over their heads. Their faces were hidden in the evening shadows. I tried to sidestep them, but they closed in tight on me. "Don't move, kid," one of them said in a deep, low voice. "Let me go," I screamed. "What do you want?" They were both big and solid, built like tree trunks. Their dark eyes glowed from under their black hoods. The chill ran down my back. I wanted to run, but my legs were shaking so hard. I could barely stand. I could see my house so close, so close. One of them stuck out a big hand. I had jeweled rings on every finger. "No trouble, Sonny," he said. "That's right," his partner spoke up. He stuck out his hand too. I saw the tattoo of a spider on his palm. "If you just hand it over to us, there won't be any trouble," he said. I tried to swallow. My mouth was suddenly as dry as cotton. "Huh? Hand what over?" I chugged out. "Who are you?" "We're your friends," Spider Tattoo replied. "We only want to help you." He glanced behind him, as if to see if anyone's watching, but I sputtered. "Don't act scared," Windfingers snarled. "You'll order it, but we need it back." I glanced around. Why wasn't there anyone on the street? "Anyone who could rescue me?" "Ordered," I said. My voice came out shrill and high. I didn't order anything." "Come on, kid," Spider Tattoo said. "Don't make it hard for us." "A terrible mistake was made." "Truth," his partner chimed in. "The stuff is dangerous, very dangerous, no joke. We can't let you keep it." His eyes kept darting all around. "We'll never send it." Spider Tattoo said. We'll get in big trouble if anyone finds out." "Do you have it on you?" His partners asked. "Is it in your backpack there?" Just hand it to me." "Okay, no problem." "No," I started. "I told you I don't." Windfingers pointed towards my house. "You have it at home. You can't give it to us there. We'll come with you." What were they after? What could it be so dangerous? Why were they so desperate to get it back? I didn't know how to answer them. I only knew I didn't have it. You have made a mistake," I stammered. Right rolled over us." I glimpsed. The men's faces hard, tough looking. I turned and saw the green car pulled out to the curb. The passenger window rolled down. Mr. Scotto poked his head out. "Matt, how's it going? How's practice?" I dived to the car and grabbed the door handle. I leaned down close to Mr. Scutto. "These two men," I whispered. "They are really scary. I don't know what they want." His eyes went wide. He gazed past me. "Men?" he said. "I don't see any men." I swung around. They had vanished into thin air. After dinner, I was in my room, bending over my ivy plants. I was using plant shears to cut them back. I gasped as I felt cold. Hard fingers wrapped around my neck. "Hey," Leafy laughed. She pulled her hands away. "Why did you love sneaking up on me like that?" I asked. She shrugged. "Because it's fun." "Get me a rubbish bag for the clippings," I said. "Like I'm your servant." She gave me a pushed and danced away. "Those plants are creeping along the floor," she said. "Like in the horror movie. One night, they are gonna creep into your bed and strangle you." Leafy has a good imagination. "If they get really long, they reach into your room," I said. I heard a loud thud on the stairs. A few seconds later, Bradley came bursting into the room. "My two favourite people!" exclaimed. "Bye," Leafy said. Running her eyes, she hurried out as fast as she could. Bradley strode up to me, an excited grin on his face. He was wearing baggy khakis and my Shady Hills swim team sweatshirt. I never give it to him. He must have stolen it from my closet. "Check this out, dude," he said breathlessly. I could smell spaghetti sauce on his breath. I tried to back away, but he had me cornered. He held up a small green plastic egg. I already took it out of a box. I couldn't wait. This gonna change everything, he said. He was so excited his hands were tumbling as he held up the egg. "I ordered this online from a secret site," he said. "I am so psyched." I gazed at the plastic egg, the same size as a real egg. "What kind of secret site?" I asked. "You can't get it on it unless you know the 3 secret password," Bradley said. He waved the green egg in front of my face. "Know what this stuff does?" he asked. "Makes an omelette," I joked. "It grows," Bradley said. Once you open the egg, it grows and grows. And if you eat it, you'll grow to bigger and stronger. I rolled up my eyes. "Hello, Bradley, you're a total sucker. You really believe the stuff in this egg will make you grow? How can you be so dumb? How could you fall for another fake?" No, Bradley said, breathing hard. "No way, this is a fake. This stuff, it's for real." Matt knew what I'm going to do. I shrugged. "I can guess." Bradley rolled the plastic egg in his hand. "I'm gonna eat just a tiny chunk," he said. "Just enough to make me gain weight and grow big muscles. Then I won't be skinny worm anymore." I laughed. "Give me a break," I said. "I can't believe you are serious." "I'm totally serious," Bradley said. "After I eat this, I'll be a different person. I'll be strong. and athlete. I won't have to copy you. I'll be better than you. But Bradley, kids will invite me to the parties and chose me to be on their football teams and wanted to hang out with me. Bradley went on, and you'll stay home by yourself talking to your ivory plants. Let me see it, I said. I dropped the egg into my palm. It was warm and damp from a sweaty hand. I raced close to read the words engraved in the green plastic. Monster blood. Whoa, wait, I said. Suddenly, it all came clear to me. Bradley, did you send for this last night when you were using my laptop? Bradley nodded. Yes, so. The two men in black flashed into my mind. I pictured very hard faces, very dark, angry eyes. This monster blood had to be what they were after. Bradley ordered it on my computer, so they think I have it, and they are desperate to get it back because it's so dangerous. I stared at the innocent little egg I used to have, silly putty that came in the egg like this. So why were those two men so eager to get it back? What's wrong with this stuff? The plastic egg suddenly felt hot in my hand. I set the monster blood egg down on my desk. Give it to me, Bradley said. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to take the taste right now. I'm serious. This is going to change my life. He shoved my shoulder, and guess what, dude? This monster blood is going to win me Mr. Scotto Science Prize, too. Know what a science experiment is me. Bradley did a wild dance around my room, tossing his arms in the air and cheering for himself. I had a heavy feeling in my stomach. I gazed at the green egg. Bradley, I have to tell you about these two men, I started. Bradley stopped his crazy dance. Don't try to talk to me out of it, he said. My mind is made up, Matt. This is a big thing I've ever done, and I know it's going to be awesome. But Bradley, let me tell you, I tried again. No way, he said. He clamped a hand over my mouth to silence me. I'm going to eat just enough Mr. Monster Blood to make me as strong, big as strong as you. Read my lips. No one will ever call me one again. I pulled his hand off my face. I should stop him, I told myself. These two men in black said this stuff was really dangerous. Bradley is a creep, but I couldn't let him eat something that might make him ill. Yes, Bradley is a creep. Suddenly, my mind returned to the past few days. All the close calls. Mr. Scotto's broken windshield. Bradley getting us caught cheating on the math test. My wrecked laptop almost being suspended from school. All because of Bradley. A creep, a total creep. I couldn't help it. My anger came towards sweeping back. It floated all over me. Payback time, I told myself. Bradley deserved it. I grabbed the egg off my desk. I pulled off the top. I gazed at the bubbling green gook inside. Then I raised the monster blood to Bradley. Go ahead, I said. Slurp it up. Bradley's face turned serious as he took the egg from me. He held it in one hand and he raised it close to his face. It's bubbly a lot, he murmured. Ha ha ha, listen, hear the blob blob sound. Weird, let's see what it tastes like. He dipped his little finger into the green goo. Hey, it's hot, he said, and real sticky. Look how it sticks to my finger. Going crazy, I said. Taste it. Say goodbye to old Bradley, he said. He lifted his little finger into his mouth. Bradley stuck out of his tongue. He raised a little blob of monster blood to his mouth. And I grabbed his arm and pulled it down. No, I cried. What are you doing? Bradley said angrily. Let go. What's your problem, Matt? He tried to lift the monster blood to his mouth, but I held his arm away. I can't let you do it, I said. I changed my mind. I guess I have a conscience. I couldn't do something that evil, even to Bradley. Let go of me, Bradley screamed. You are not a boss of me. That made me laugh. Little big baby, I said. I grabbed his little finger and wiped a glob of the monster blood off on his jeans. Then I grabbed the bottom part of the egg and clumped a top down on top of it. I had to squeeze the lid on. The monster blood was raising up out of the egg. Give it to me. Bradley swiped at the egg, but I swung out of his reach. It's mine. I can do what I want with it. He whined. Just shut up and listen to me, I said. 2 men stopped me on the street. They said it was dangerous. They want it back. Bradley rolled his eyes. 2 men? Ha ha ha, he said. Tell me another one. I'm serious, I said. I can't let you eat their stuff. You dirty liar, Bradley shouted. He dived at me, grabbing for the plastic egg. I raised it out of his reach. He tackled me to the floor and fell on the top of me. He tried to wrestle me, but he was too skinny and light. Give it to me. It's mine. Give it to me, he shouted. I tucked the egg into my jeans pocket. Then I rolled on the top of him and pinned his arms to the floor. I held him down till he stopped squirming and shouting. Give up, I said. Come on, Bradley. You're pinned. Say it. Give up. I groaned. Okay, you're crushing me. I climbed to my feet and helped him up. He groaned and rubbed his skinny arms. I don't think I hurt him too hard. Are you going to give me a monster blood or not? He asked. Not, I said. I patted my jeans pocket. I'm keeping it safe and sound. Bradley let a cry and dived at me again. Give it back to me. Matt is mine. That's when Livy poked her head into the room. What are you doing? She cried. I heard you all wave down the hall. Bradley let go of my jeans and backed away. None of your business, gig knives. He snarled. Hey, huh? Livy's face turned an angry red. Okay, no biggie. I'm out of here, Bradley said. Fist at his sides. You keep the monster blood. Matt, go ahead. You just don't want me to be as big, as popular as you are. Bradley, you don't get it, I said. You can't eat something if you don't know what it is. No biggie, Bradley said again. You keep it, but I'm keeping a birdhouse project. I'm gonna win with it. He shoved Livy out of his way and stomped out of the wind, muttering furiously to himself. Whoa, what's that about? Livy said. I pulled the egg out of my pocket and held it up to her. It's some stupid gunk Bradley ordered online. He wanted to eat some of it, but it wouldn't let him. Let me see, Livy said. She grabbed the egg and pulled it open. Oh, sick, she moaned. I watched it bubble over the side of the egg. It's really gross, I said. Livy pushed it to my nose. Smell it, it's totally pokey. Yuck! It smelled like mouldy Brussels sprouts. I hate Brussels sprouts. I grabbed the egg from Livy's hand. Bradley really wanted to eat this stuff, Livy said. I nodded. He's one sick dude. Livy stared into the egg. Yeah, sick. We both heard Mum calling from downstairs. Livy turned and ran to the stairs. I watched the monster blood bubble and pop. Did people really eat this stuff? Or was this one of Bradley's crazy ideas? I carried the egg to the window and peered down to the street. I think maybe the two men in black might be hanging around outside. I could run out and hand them the monster blood. Oh, but no. Two rabbits stood on the lawn, up on their hind legs, frozen in the headlights as a fan rumbled past 9 signs of the men in black. Whoa, I felt monster blood dripped onto my hand. I looked down. The green goo had bubbled up over the side of the egg. It pulled onto my palm and began spreading to my fingers. I dropped the egg onto my dresser, but the big blob of monster blood clung to my hand. It oozed over my fingers, hot and sticky. I shrugged to pull it off, but it clung tightly. The weird smell was making me ill. What if I can't prise it off? I thought. What if it just keeps growing on me? Finally, I prised the sticky stuff up and rolled up into the bubbling ball. I turned into my dresser to stuff back into the egg. Whoa! I let out the dry when I saw the green gunk pouring over the side of the dresser into one of my ivy plants. I glanced frantically around the room. I had to find something to hold this disgusting stuff. My eye stopped at something on my bottom bookshelf. Something that might be big enough and strong enough to hold up the monster blood until I can get rid of it. I rushed across the room. I bent down and picked up the giant china piggy bank. It was a present for my aunt, Harriet. I think she won it at the carnival. The piggy bank was bright pink. It had coin slot on his back and a wide cord on his belly for taking the coins out. The bank was bigger than toaster. Yes, it might hold the goo for a while. I knew how to be careful. I found a pair of leather gloves in my closet and slipped them on. Then I picked up the metal troll I used for losing the earth in my ivy plant pots. I took a silver funnel, it being used for a science experiment. I removed the cork and jammed the funnel into the hole. First, I stepped up to the dresser and began shuffling up the monster blood, bubbling and steaming. It climbed up to the troll. I tilted into the funnel. Now it stuck into the funnel walls. My eyes darted around the room, searching for something that might work better. Nothing here. The stuff was too sticky. My heart pounded as I pushed and shoved and jammed the monster blood in the funnel, down through the hole in the piggy's belly. Finally, I jammed the last gobs into the piggy bank. My hand trembled as I shoved in the cork. The piggy bank was nearly full. Would it hold the bubbling green goo? I tossed the funnel into my closet. Then I grabbed the roll of masking tape it had been using to build my birdhouse model. I wrapped the tape all around the bank, strip after strip. I wrapped my many strips of tape around over the snot of top. By the time I was finished, sweat poured down on my forehead. My shirt was drenched. My arms and legs were trembling. I thought about swim team tomorrow. The guys were all counting on me. The whole school was counting on me. I had to calm myself down, and then I had to get to sleep. Coach Meadows always insisted on 8 hours sleep before the meet. I picked up the piggy bank, heavier now and warm. Carefully, I carried to my closet. I tucked it into a low sleeve shelf away in the back. Got to calm down. Got to stop thinking about monster blood. I picked up my watering can and began drizzling water on the 2 ivy plants. Then I untangled some vines and misted the leaves. Working with my plants always calms me down. But no way could I stop thinking about bubbling green gug in the piggy bank in my closet. I'll take it to the town dump tomorrow. First thing after the swim meet, I decided. The dump was only 2 streets away. I could bury it there, no problem. It took me a long time to fell asleep that night. I had a bunch of disturbing dreams. I dreamed I heard strange bubbling sounds nearby. Glug, glub, pop, glug, glug. I woke up slowly, feeling groggy, my head heavy as rock. Glug, glug, pop, glug, glub. The sounds from my dream. I was awake now, but I could still hear them. Wet, smacking noises, gudges and pops. It took me a long while to realise the sounds were real. Not a dream. I jerked straight up in bed. My heart skipped a beat. Glug, glug, glug. From the closet. I let go a long, worried sigh and climbed out of bed. The sick sounds grew louder as I crept across the room. Had the monster blood escaped? When did it came sweeping over me in a tidal wave of hot goo? I was 2 meters from the closet when I heard a scratching sound behind me. I spun around and opened my mouth in a scream of horror. A man, a giant, 8 feet tall, stood in my room in the front of a window, waving his outstretched arms at me. Who are you? What do you want? I cried. Then I gasped. Moonlight floated the window. I saw that I wasn't staring at a giant man. I was staring at one of my ivy plants. The one closest to the dresser. It grown to the ceiling. Its giant tendrils were waving in the breeze from open windows. I clicked on the ceiling light. The plant was huge. It creaked and groaned, bending, stretching. Some of the vines brushed against the ceiling. The monster blood, I remembered it, dripping off the dresser into my ivy plant. Bradley was right about one thing. The green goo really made things grow. This isn't fair, I thought. It just isn't fair. I had practiced and worked so hard for the championship meet tomorrow, and now I was getting no sleep and felt totally stressed and frightened. How big would the ivy plant grow? Glug, glug, glug. I had no choice. I had to check out the closet. I had to make sure the monster blood was still safe inside the piggy bank. I stepped up to the closet. I took a deep breath, turned a knob, and pulled the door. Opened the door. No, I screamed as a tall, hot wave of goo washed onto me. It bounced off my chest, then oozed into my hands. Oh no, I groaned. This isn't happening. The monster blood spread over my hands and tightened itself like a pair of gloves. I staggered back. My hands started to itch like crazy. The green goo tightened itself tighter. I shook my hands frantically, but the hot gunk clung to my skin as I struggled. The monster blood bulged bigger and oozed onto my chest. I swiped at it with both hands, but they were slippery, covered in green goo. I couldn't grab hold. The hot syrupy monster blood wrapped itself around my chest, tighter, like a warm, tight jumper. Gasping for breath, I squirmed and struggled. I dropped to the rug and tried to pull it off, but it clung tight to me. I climbed higher over my body, spreading so fast. Now I could feel a sticky, warm ooze spreading onto my neck. tightened around my throat, like fingers trying to strangle me. Breath came out in a loud wheeze, and I tugged at it, twisted and bent my body, tried to surprise my fingers with a thick green blanket of glue. Hard to breathe. It's choking me. As the sickening smell poured into my nose, the gunk tickled my chin, rising fast. Was it headed for my mouth? I shut my mouth tight and grated my teeth. Can't breathe. It's burning me, choking me. Okay, so let's stop there on page 60 and 61. Alright, so I've got to take a break for now. Alright, so I'm glad you found this story interesting about monster blood. Was very dangerous. I think it's quite interesting to know about the story of the Goosebumps. Monster Blood of Breakfast was written by a famous writer, R.L Stine. Okay, so we're going to have a break for now. So I've got to take a break, and I'll see you for a short while, and happy Halloween.